Ja, das Ganze ist jetzt erstmal hier noch das Tutorial und Intro und man lernt ein bisschen was über Bracers und darüber, wie das ganze Spiel so funktioniert und so. The Star and the Hanged Man, The Hermit and the Magician, and last of all, Inversion through the Wheel of Fortune. This is a difficult combination. How should I interpret this? Good morning, Shara. Ja, die legt Karten aus. Ich weiß nicht, was das für ein Fetisch von ihr ist, aber sie legt öfter einfach mal so Karten aus. Ich glaube, es wird nie erwähnt, ob das tatsächlich irgendeine Bedeutung hat, was sie da legt, oder ob das wirklich nur Spielerei ist, so wie richtige Tarotkarten. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua. This is a rare occasion for the both of you to show up so early. Since it's my last day of training, I figured, why not? I'm ready to get this show on the road and become a bracer myself. I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm, but I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure that high-spirited attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready. I can feel that enthusiasm dropping already. Quiet, you! Every time I teach you something, you somehow manage to forget it. This training is my way of trying to keep some of that information in your head instead of letting it dribble out your ears like it usually does. Wow, Joshua, Shara is picking on me. Ja, aber sie hat recht. Don't worry, Shara. While Estelle may hate studying and rarely ever does her homework, acts rashly, is overly naive, and has a tendency to stick her nose into everything, her instincts are sharp, so I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an ornament with some practice eventually. Probably. I guess there's not much I can do now, except for hope for the best. Ja. Joshua pickt auch auf ihr rum. Also er ärgert auch auf ihr rum. Hold on a sec, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me. Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately. Whatever. Ja, sie checkt's nicht mal. By the way, Shara, what were you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent. Oh, this... I was just trying to get a vague reading about what might happen in the near future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have been in the right mindset to interpret the cards correctly. You couldn't read the cards? Now that's surprising to hear. Actually, the more profound the meaning of the cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. But that's not important now. I think it's time we start your final training. Ja, keine Ablenkung mehr. Ich will endlich ein Bracer werden. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information we've covered in your previous training. This is the minimal level of knowledge that bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay especially close attention to what I'm going to say. Yeah. Das klingt jetzt schon, als ob du nicht zuhören wirst. Ornaments. Ornaments are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbal energy. A variety of effects can be produced depending on their structure and the type of quartz or processed septium installed. Although it's only been about 50 years since their invention, these devices play an integral role in all facets of life, from lights, heaters, and other everyday products to weapons, magic and even airships. Also, das sind so Dinge, die durch eine sogenannte Orbal Energy angetrieben werden. Das ist so die Energieressource in diesem Universum. Und diese Ornaments, die diese Energie produzieren, können verschiedene Sachen machen. Die können Lichter, Öfen und andere Alltagsgegenstände, aber auch Waffen und sowas wie Magie ermöglichen zum Beispiel. Und natürlich Luftschiffe. In connection, this technological reform is commonly known as the Orbal Revolution. Okay, Bracers. Bracers are investigative and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions. They aid the community in various ways, such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracer-Gilde, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the Bracers in each region. Okay, dann wissen wir jetzt schon mal, Bracer sind ja im Prinzip sowas wie Söldner. Aber nicht, dass die jedem zur Verfügung stehen, sondern die stehen dem Volke zur Verfügung. Die haben hier diese Gilden, wo dann Leute hinkommen können und sagen, ey, ich brauche hier einen Bodyguard oder ey, da ist ein Monster, mach das mal weg. Oder ey, Dingskirchen, ne? Dingskirchen sind immer ganz besonders interessante Fälle. Und dann macht die Bracer-Gilde das halt gegen Bezahlung. Über das Libel Kingdom, da sieht man es schon, das ist die gesamte Region, die uns hier in diesem Spiel zur Verfügung stehen wird. The Kingdom of Libel, in which we live, sits on the western half of the Zemurian continent and abounds with nature and deep-rooted traditions. Libel is proud to be one of the leading producers of septium on the continent and is known for its high level of technology used to develop orbments. Orbment technology has also been a key pillar of support for Libel in protecting its independence, as it has contended with neighboring nations. 10 years ago, when Libel was invaded by the Erebonian Empire, it was the use of orb-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Übrigens ist Erebonia, also das Erebonian Empire, ist übrigens der Ort, wo die Nachfolgeserie spielen wird, die ich halt auch noch let's playen möchte und wo dann auch schon 2 Teile von Blind sein werden. Consequently, even now our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, Libel enjoys peace. Okay, das war alles. Let's see, since we've got a mountain of stuff to do today, I'll let you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical proportion of your training. Shara, how is today's practical training any different from the training we've done before? Since it's practical, that means you will be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have the both of you run through everything as if this were a real bracer job. So, what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time, you'll have to go out and make a physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure to have you work up a sweat, so I hope you're ready. Yes, that's seriously just what the doctor ordered. I didn't know what I was going to do if I had to sit another day with my tush parked at a desk. I guess I got it all worried for nothing. Well, suddenly you're all bright and cheerful, Estelle. Vor allem Bright, weil sie heißt ja Bright. Let's just hope that smile on your face lasts until the end of today's training. Okay, let's get cracking on your first objective, shall we? Let's have at it. So, jetzt bekommen wir erstmal nochmal hier, wie das in der Gilde funktioniert, eine Übersicht. Your first objective will be to confirm the details of the job you will be performing. But before that, there is something that we need to give the both of you. Einer, are they ready? Yes, they are. Alright, you two, go get one for each of yourselves. Okay, dann Einer, gib uns das. These are very important, so make sure not to lose them. Bracer Notebook. Okay. Bracer notebooks serve as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find and wear, these kinds of trivial things can often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Understood. Crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Oh? Please tell me it was my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all bracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle. Okay, I got it. Bist so faul. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door. You can see that there's a bulletin board standing there. Ja, das habe ich auch vorhin schon gesehen. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. When the bulletin board is approached, Ausrufezeichen mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display the job list. Was heißt Ausrufezeichen überhaupt auf Englisch? By selecting the job named on the list, you can view their details. Gut. Gucken wir uns das Ganze einfach mal an. Zack. Wir haben hier Training Retrieval. This training will involve searching the sewers beneath Roland and bring back the contents of a chest. See Scheherazade for details. Okay, dann gehen wir mal zu Scheherazade. Details of the job confirmed on the bulletin board and other important events will be automatically recorded in the Bracer book. The Bracer notebook can be easily found by clicking on the Books tab of the Items menu. It can also be accessed by configuring a Bracer book shortcut button on the Configuration menu. Ja, normalerweise habe ich das auch, wenn ich meinen Controller benutze, aber der funktioniert ja gerade irgendwie nicht. Very good. It looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble. Ihr könnt lesen. Wow! Das hätte ich nicht gedacht, vor allem bei Estelle nicht. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also an important duty for bracers. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I just have to be more motivated. Das H gehört da, glaube ich, eigentlich nicht hin. Is that so? Had a change of heart, have you? You betcha. Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will we be doing this time? We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital Factory and learning about how to use its services. Yay, wir gehen über die Straße! Bisher durfte ich das noch nicht alleine machen. Das hat Mama mir nicht erlaubt. Aber jetzt können wir das endlich machen. He has graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay. Da sind wir, Teleport. Jetzt haben wir nicht mal gesehen, wie wir über die Straße gegangen sind. Dabei wäre das so spannend gewesen. Here is where you will learn how to use an Orbital Factory's services. At an Orbital Factory, you can modify your orbments and synthesize support quartz in order to use orbital arts. Arts have a wide range of effects and, if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has had a long-standing relationship with these orbital factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Melders, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here?
No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what is it that you would like to know about?
Orbments.
Orbments are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz. By definition, that means That means that lights, airship, engines, and so on are also types of augments. However, the ones that we will be discussing today are battle augments, which enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each augment is adjusted to match the owner's personal attitude, the structure for these devices also differ for each owner. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them vary. At any rate, that's the layman's explanation. Okay, es gibt Unterschiede zwischen den einzelnen Augments, die die haben. Einige können nämlich nur bestimmte Elemente in bestimmten Slots auswählen. Und andere sind da ein bisschen vielfältiger. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be opened at the orbital factory like this. It will take a fair amount of Sepith too. EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening them all as soon as possible. So, what is it that you would like to know more about? Okay, es ist halt so, wenn man diese Slots weiter öffnet, bekommt man dadurch mehr EP. Das sind hier die Magiepunkte sozusagen. Orbital arts. Simply put, orbital arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle augments. In other words, a number of peculiar effects can be produced by using the orbital energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since orbital arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to have been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, their corresponding quartz must first be synthesized at an orbital factory. Augments are also set up so that once a particular quartz is installed into a slot, the owner will be able to use those arts. The type of arts one can use also changes depending on the elemental value and the combination of installed quartz. Also das ganze System ist extrem kompliziert und auch ich habe es nie so richtig verstanden. Es hilft aber, sich im Internet einfach mal einen Guide dazu durchzulesen und zu gucken, welche Quarze sich da am besten kombinieren lassen. Denn es ist echt viel zu kompliziert. Basically, if you want to use water arts, then all you have to do is install quartz with a water elemental value. Ja, soweit ist das klar, aber dann gibt es verschiedene Kombinationen irgendwann und die sind so komisch und also man muss richtig bestimmte Quarze ausrüsten, damit man bestimmte Effekte kriegt und sowas und es ist schon alles ziemlich viel hin und her dann am Ende. In reality, augments are much more complex than what I have described, but I think this information should suffice for now. So, what you would like to hear more? Okay. Wir lassen uns noch erklären, was Sabbath sind, das Quartz, das ist eigentlich egal. Das sind halt so Dinger, die wir da reinsetzen können in diese Augments und dadurch bekommen wir dann halt diese Effekte. Sabbath are fragments of septium, which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: Earth, Brown, Water, Blue, Fire, Red, Wind, Green, Time, Black, Space, Gold and Mirage, Silver. Sabbath can be exchanged for Mirror almost anywhere, but at the Orbital Factory it can be used to synthesize quartz and to open augment slots in which to install the synthesized quartz. Ja. Und das ist, ich würde dieses Sabbath nie verkaufen. Niemals, weil Augment-Slots zu öffnen und so, das ist einfach viel wichtiger und kostet so viele von diesen Sabbath, man kann es sich gar nicht leisten, die zu verkaufen. So, wir leaven jetzt erstmal, das war alles, was wir erstmal zu wissen brauchen. It looks like Mr. Meldus had answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some Sabbath. Okay, ich habe jetzt mehrere Typen Elementar Sabbath bekommen. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize a few quartz.
Now, I want you to begin with by first making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular orbments. In your case, Estelle, any elemental quartz is okay, but for Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. Normally, at a shop, you would be able to exchange Sepith for Mira, but for this training you will be not able to use this service. Genau, weil es das Tutorial kaputt machen könnte. Okay. Weil wenn wir dann keine Sepith mehr hätten, ne, weil wir die verkauft haben, könnten wir hier natürlich auch uns kein Quartz herstellen. Komm, hier. Talk. Ich möchte gerne Modify Trade. Ich möchte Quartz herstellen. Und zwar möchte ich gerne HP herstellen für Estelle, weil da ist ein Heilzauber mit inbegriffen. Für Joshua möchte ich Action herstellen. Ah, okay, wir können uns noch was machen. Dann noch Attack dazu, bitte. Können wir uns noch mal AP erstellen? Okay. Obwohl, wir können uns von jedem einmal was erstellen, ne? Evade nehmen wir dann noch und Defense. Haben wir von allem etwas. So, das war's. Gut. Gucken wir mal hier, ob wir das jetzt auch gleich ausrüsten können schon. Du bekommst HP. Du bekommst Action. Was kostet es eigentlich, den ersten Slot hier freizuschalten? Estelle, hier, okay, 30 kostet das von jedem Quartz. Und bei Joshua kostet das auch 30. Okay. So, wir haben das gemacht. Oh, so you finished installing your quartz, have you? Since you have both recovery and attack arts set up, it appears that you don't need any more instruction from me about how to do this task. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your Bracer notebooks contain information about which quartz allow you to use which arts. If you'd like to use more powerful arts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your Bracer notebook and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have one of you open a new slot in your openings. The more slots you have available to you, the broader the range of choices you'll have. Since EP, which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them all early on. Now I want you to use this Sepith and open a slot on each of your orbments. Go ahead and decide which slots you're going to open. Gut. Wir öffnen einen Slot für Joshua. So, gut. Dann haben wir wieder keine Dings mehr, aber wir können Joshua da auch gleich was reinpacken. Und zwar bekommt Joshua noch Evade, weil dadurch kann er dann ausweichen. So. Beziehungsweise dadurch kriegt er noch Wind dazu. So, haben wir gemacht. Good work on opening up a slot, Joshua. Since your central slot is limited to a certain elemental, it would be best to increase your orbment's number of open slots early on. This concludes your training here at the Orbital Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test. Pardon? Did you just say test? Das haben wir doch zu Hause schon besprochen. You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test. Again, can you? Didn't I remind you just this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talking along those lines at the breakfast table. Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracer-Gilde and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for... How about a little less yapping and a little more walking? Ja, zieh sie an den Haaren hinter dir her. Joshua, help me! Mr. Maldus, Freddy, thank you for all your help.
Don't mention it, and good luck with that test of yours.
We'll be rooting for you. I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua! All your training has finally come down to this. Wie das mit diesen Ordnance funktioniert, erkläre ich vielleicht nochmal gleich im Detail. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. Yeah, Estelle. What's wrong, Estelle? Shara? What now? I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something? Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Yeah, and I even made you jot down what you read in your Bracer notebooks, unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? What a relief. O divine Adios! I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. So what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test? No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbital Factory. I can already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed. I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Ja, weil genau das, wie du dich verhältst, im Prinzip darauf hindeutet, dass wir es nicht schaffen werden, weil du Kacke baust. Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about the both of you try to at least look a little anxious? Just so you know though, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you. We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose. Das stand doch schon auf dem Bulletin Board. Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your test? Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, Estelle, this test will be a search conducted in Roland sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents of a chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. Nicht mal du, Estelle. However, there are real, living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let down your guard, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. Terban, geil, Heil-Items. Monster Guide. What's this book for? Das ist doch klar, wenn's Monster Guide heißt, oder? It's called a Monster Guide and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Whenever you whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. You've really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. Ja, that's some pretty useful advice. Im Gegensatz zu Estelle hat was im Kopf. Thanks for the tip, Shara. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then. Let's get pumped and knock out this test. Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure we treat it as such. Ja, Estelle, nimm das nicht auf die leichte Schulter. Mach keinen Kack.